not playing for someone because you played for someone all your life. Well, I mean, that wasn't what the GAA was about. The GAA was about you playing for the area that you live in. And in my case, there was no team there, and that's why I went to someone. And because I started playing there, I was loyal to them until the end. But I would not encourage my sons to leave the area or to go and play for a team, you know, that where they didn't live, where they didn't know their guys they were playing with, and the likelihood that they were playing against their own neighbours whenever they come back to play O'Hanlon's. So that would be the reason why I never, you know, they grew up here in Points Pass and they grew up with all the O'Hanlon's lads, so therefore it's natural that they play with them. You know.
During your GAA life, is there any big events that stick out in your mind that made you very proud, whether it was a game or a big event? Or
the first, well, game wise, the first thing that sticks out in my mind, or the first two games that stick out in my mind, was back in '87. We done extremely well. We got to the final of the junior championship, but we never won it. And in '88, we played in a tournament here on my own home ground, I suppose, our local club O'Hanlon's here, and we won it. And that was the first sort of trophy that we won. It was a memorable night. Then that same year we won the South Armagh Cup, which was a local sort of tournament for South Armagh teams, and we beat Colville in the final, and I'll never forget it. It was in St Pat's, Cullyhanna, I think the final was. And I remember all my family was all there, my brothers and sisters, and everybody was there that night, and that was a great night.
You spoke there of the achievements of the club, Lissaman Club, and opening the facilities and all. Was opening day memorable?
Well, I was going to say, events wise, opening day was a very memorable day. Armagh played Down. Down had won the All Ireland, I think, the previous year, and the All Ireland winning team, Ross Carr and guys like that, come and played in our club. And a couple of our players actually played for Armagh that day. I think it was Peter Quinn and Kieran Meehan. Both played that day, and that was a very memorable day. It was a big day.
Had you any particular duties that day? You were part of the committee then?
Part of the committee, yeah.
Part of the organising
Part of the organising committee, just to, you know. I can remember the day all right. I can't remember exactly what I did. It's a good while ago, you know. Another memorable day was the opening of the new sports hall. It was a big day as well. It was a very memorable day. It's not that long ago now. You know, so.
There's two things happening in the GAA now, and one of them is professionalism that you hear a lot about. You've given a long life of service to the GAA, and I'm quite sure, like many more, you didn't receive a penny for it. And now we have a lot of paid jobs and professional creeping in. What's your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't be so fussy on on people getting paid. To me, it was what I was doing was helping young people, giving them a focus or something to put their energies into, rather than, I suppose, sitting in the pub or fighting or whatever. What else would youngsters get up to? Like, you know, they could spend their energies in the field of play. Right from a very early age, I would always been involved with the underage teams, from, I'll say, under 8s up, and it was a great, like, I mean, even my own children now, or my children all played underage football the whole way up, and it was something to look forward to. It was something, a goal that they could achieve. Nobody got paid, you know. It was just a service to the community, basically.
So is there any space in the GAA at all for professionalism?
I don't think so, no.
What about the players? They talk about this great sacrifice they make, you know, and a lot of people would think they should be paid for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if for my part, I would have given to play for the county. Never was going to happen, like, it never was good enough.
Find that
but I would have been payment enough to actually play for the county, and to be on an All Ireland winning team in 2002. It must have been something else, like, you know, it really, for a player. What it was, you know, it was brilliant for us as supporters, like. But what was it not to be like to be out there, to be a player, and you'll never be forgotten for that, like. You know, the Kieran McGeeney's, the Paul McGreens will never be forgotten. And to me, that's that's payment enough. You know, I wouldn't want to be paid for doing that. At the end of the day, your playing career is relatively short, and I'm what 56 now. I stopped playing when I was about 33, 34, and it seemed a long time from when I started when I was 17, I'd say, to 34. But it's not really, in the scheme of things, it's not a long time. You know, and to be able to play for your county and especially to win things, to me would be reward enough. You know, you'd love to be doing it, you'd love to still be able to do it, but it's not going to happen. Like,
talking about professionalism and money, what do you think the future is for small rural GAA clubs like Lissamon? Is there a future for them in the present financial climate and the way things are going with this creeping professionalism?
yeah, well, there is a future. The facilities might not improve any, but I mean, do we really need much more? We've got our field, we've got our sports hall, we've got to keep it ticking over and running. Fair enough, we can cut back and we can keep it going, but it's there, it's paid for. It's just a matter of running it now.
So
And providing that facility for young people and adults and everybody. You know, we have a girls team as well. We're providing facilities for girls. We're hopefully providing facilities for old people, for everybody in the community. It's a real community focus. It's part of the community. If football stopped in Lissamon and the hall closed up, would you know your neighbours? After a short, you know, and I think now it's we're not really striving for big money to try and, although we could do with more facilities, we could do another a backup football field, like, but we could do without that. You know.
Are you saying there is always a place for local rural small GAA outfits throughout the country? And
definitely.
They are going to survive because they're part of the history.
Yeah. At the end of the day, for a member, it's a relatively cheap source of entertainment, if you like. You know, you don't have to go and spend loads and loads of money to be a member of the GAA, or you know, to go to a local club match, and the entertainment value is well worth it. I think, you know.
A lot of immigration in Ireland now. Do you see that affecting the GAA much?
Possibly, yes, and I can see it affecting it more for my own guys, or you know, my own son is just coming out of university this year, and he's into the building and construction. Obviously, he's not going to be very little from here, and although I know he doesn't want to go, but he may have to go to get work. So that is definitely going to affect the local club. You know,
when you started off back in the early 70s, there wasn't that many women involved in GAA, and now there is at many different levels. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think our club were unique in that respect, that we always had ladies on the committee. From I can remember, we always had a ladies football team. Practically the whole time that I've been there, we've always had a ladies football team, and you know, there's always that. There probably always will be a ladies football team. The ladies are running at the minute. They're running youth clubs and things like that there, and they're providing their own. You know, they've been doing dancing and different things. So, and there's still ladies on the committee. You know, so there's still a big role for ladies. Like, they're not just sort of what we used to think as team makers.
Not team makers.
You know, we've actually had a lady chairperson in our time, years and years ago now. I'm talking maybe 25 years ago probably, we had a lady chairperson, you know, which was unheard of in any club in Armagh, or probably in Ireland as well. Like, it was thought as a men's.
So this is something you'd be quite supportive of?
Oh, definitely, you know? Yeah, definitely.
And how do you see your involvement from this point into the future in the GAA? You're not on the committee now,
No,
I believe.
no.
Do you still see yourself keeping in touch?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, keep in touch, help out where I can. I've said, like, I mean, I don't want to sort of I've sort of got over the bit where I have to religiously go to a meeting every fortnight, or But if there's any big events or anything happening, I'll be there to help out, definitely, yeah. Yeah, more of a laid back role now, I suppose.
You're enjoying it now.
Enjoying it a lot. Well, I would say, I mean, in all the years that I was secretary of the club, I never ever enjoyed a dinner dance until, you know, I stepped down as secretary.
You felt the pressure of the duties at the time.
Pressure of the duties, you know, made the night a bit of a nightmare, like, until everything was over and everybody was sorted out, you know. Things like that.
You as a person, what, you know, how have you expressed yourself through the GAA? You know, has it helped you at a personal level in life, maybe through your work?
Yeah, well, I mean, it has made me, I suppose, more confident, more able to speak, speak out for myself as well. You know,
this experience.
Generally, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't have been one for the limelight. I would have done my bit and stayed in the background. Like, I didn't really do it for that reason, you know. So, other than helping me in my work, you know, I'm in education, have been all my life, and I've taught a good bit, and it certainly helped me in that sense, like that I was confident enough to stand up in front of people and talk to them, you know.
Right, so this experience was picked up through functions and meetings and having to discuss.
I mean, I can see where it has helped youngsters over the years who have come into the club and joined teams to play, girls and boys, joined teams to play games, and have really come out of themselves because they were shy and that sort of thing, and they got to meet people and got more confident in themselves as well, you know.
Well, Felix, thanks very much for your thoughts, and just before we go, just tell us along again that you served as a secretary for the Summon Club.
30 years.
30 years. So, there we've had thoughts and the memories of Felix Daly, secretary of the Summon for 30 years, voluntary, of course. So thanks very much again for your time, Felix, and thank you very much indeed for your contribution to the life of GAA in the Summon. Go to me, my other.